Hi, my name is Joanna, and today I'm going to talk about the importance of feeling the body while treating depression. I'm not a psychologist or a psychiatrist by training or profession, nor a therapist. 20 years ago, I was diagnosed as depressive seasonal bipolar, but I've been having hypomanic and depressive episodes for the last 32 years. The information that I bring you has been gained through my own experience or through conversations with other people who also had depression. I already spoke a couple of videos before that I believe that the depression healing from depression is made by us and is made through a change of perspective of ourselves and the world that surrounds us. And one thing that I spoke in those videos, it was about a loop in our thought and usually associated to very depreciative things about us, about our fears that we have, the way we see ourselves. And I also spoke how important it is to break this cycle. One way to break the loop is to focus in our 5 senses and try to abstract from our thoughts, from our mind. And there are several activities that you can use to do that. One thing that you can do is handcraft. Handcraft is great because you can create, express yourself, because it's depression. We have many things that we don't say it out loud, not even to ourselves. So through art, handcraft included, you can express what is inside you. And you can also use your other senses, like the touch. Because although we are continuously using the touch every day, in every second, it's not very common that we actually focus on it. We constantly use that sense. And when you are, for instance, using clay to do something, sculpting, using wood work, doing bricolage. I do a lot of bricolage. You are using your hands, you are concentrated in that also. But you can do other things, like, for instance, I do embroidery, and I also do knitting. There are people that, for instance, can play an instrument, and you can even go farther and compose music. If that gives you pleasure, it's another activity that you can do. Another activity that I like very much is gardening. Gardening is good because I enjoy being around nature. My garden is very small, but it's close. I can get to nature. And I also use my touch when I touch the plants, when I touch the dirt. I don't use gloves when I garden. And also I feel, I can sense the smell of the plants and the flowers and also the dirt when it's wet. It's really nice. And these are activities that work as an anchor. They anchors to the present. When we are doing them, there is no past, there is no future. That's only the present. And that loop of thought is broken. Walking can also be very therapeutic, especially if we concentrate in what surrounds us. But even in my very bad moments, sometimes walking helped. And although I was not able to concentrate in what was surrounding me, sometimes I would do it in a gym. I would count my steps. And while I was counting my steps, I was breaking the cycle because I was concentrating and counting. And it really worked. When in very bad days, it really worked. But if you can walk in the middle of nature, that is fantastic. That is great, because nature is our home. We are animals. It's just that we tend to forget it or dissociate from that. But in reality, we are animals and nature is our home. You can also do some breath work. You find in YouTube a lot of videos with breath work. You have many techniques that can help you. Personally, I use a technique that is the 4-4-4-4. So I count in my mind 4. So I do an inhale, counting to 4 in my mind, because loud is not possible. Then I hold the breath and I count 4, and then I do an exhale, counting to 4, and then I stop again, counting to 4. And I do this for several minutes. That helps me to relax, and I also use this when I'm doing, for instance, cardio and my heart goes really fast and I want to slow down the heartbeat. I do this technique. It also works very well. And because this breath work is actually a technique, a meditation technique. You can try other meditation techniques. You can try, for instance, mindfulness. Personally, it's very difficult for me, the mindfulness. But I do sometimes guided meditations. There's a lot of them. There is one that is really nice, that is the mountain meditation. I will leave the link also in the video, in the section of the description of the video. And you can also try things like yoga and Tai Chi. Yoga and Tai Chi are ways of exercise that you exercise your body, but it's more than that. It's more than gymnastics. I can't explain much about yoga or Tai Chi because I'm not a professional. I did it in the past in a gym and it worked, but nowadays I also use YouTube and videos. So sometimes I say, okay, let me do a morning yoga, and I do a morning yoga. I search for it, or evening yoga, and I search in YouTube and I do 10 minutes, 15. It helps, it really does. So I hope that I was helpful and I bring some quality information. And if you have any questions or would like to know more details, please write it down in the comments and I will try to address them in a future video. Or you can send me an email to bipolarchats2023@gmail.com.